Alright, welcome back everyone. Today we'll be doing Snore-tch, this stage after Do-si-do, after sweating out Do-si-do, even if you did the regular strat for that stage. This stage is a nice break. But the thing I remember about this stage, first off, is you're going to be doing a lot of roll jumps at the beginning. That's just the way the beginning of the stage works. Okay, and then you're pretty much in the clear to relax a little bit. Everything's a little bit better paced throughout the rest of the stage. Also has some pretty nice music. I do like it. There are very few difficult tricks in this stage, but this is a Dixie stage because there are quite a number of gaps in it that require you to flutter for just a little bit. Cranky can't do it. Diddy can actually do, surprisingly, just as fine on this stage as Dixie. And in fact, the Diddy had the record for this stage for a while. It kind of goes back and forth between the two phones. Okay, silly me. My instinct is a little too hard to go and hit the run button. Anyway, so Snore-tch is a pretty breezy stage. There's nothing that can really go terribly wrong in that stage. Just make sure you don't take any extra damage with Dixie, and there is a backup barrel in case you do, because you really want to hold on to her throughout this entire stage. So at the beginning of the stage, you're trying to do a whole ton of roll jumps, and specifically, if you had started this stage with Cranky, you're going to be looking to pick up Dixie anyway. So what you're doing at the beginning is you're jumping up here, and everything, so long as you're going quickly enough, you won't have any problems, you can continue to roll. You'll actually be able to run through this hedgehog before he comes on fire. So you're doing a roll jump onto here, and then a roll jump through him. These platforms will fall as you land on them, so you want to quickly do a roll jump from here, 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 and then again, you can just roll through that enemy before he's a problem. Now, if you're trying to pick up Dixie, this is the barrel that you're doing it for, and oddly enough, if you're coming straight here and you didn't pause at all, the barrel is about to turn to Dixie. It's on Cranky, like the moment it turns to Cranky. No, I'm sorry, it's on Diddy. Diddy's right before Dixie. So it'll be on Diddy when you get here. You want to wait for a split second, you can pick up Dixie, and then you'll keep going with the stage as normal. Now when you get over this section, you want to flutter for just a split second so that you don't accidentally land on that fire. And then you'll get underneath that rope and you'll be right here, and that's the beginning of the stage. Lots of rolling and jumping. Make sure that you land that intro because you don't want to take any damage with Dixie. Now for the rest of the stage, it's going to be a lot of just, you see it coming, jump over it. Like when I first started speedrunning this game, this stage was pretty easy for me because all I had to do was like, oh, I see that, I want to jump over it. You also, every time you land on things, they usually like start to fall down. So you really want to make sure that you're just non-stop going. You see something, jump over it, you know? It's pretty straightforward. These guys, roll straight through them, very nice. Roll straight off of that. Now this gap right here is one that you're going to need Dixie for, so make sure you do like a very light flutter to get over here. And then this ground right here, as you stand on it, it starts to light on fire. So you want to make sure that you're going to be rolling straight across this pit anyway, but just keep that in mind if you should ever stop for any reason. It all lights on fire. Now this section has a pretty cool trick to it. You roll through this tuck. There's another tuck that's not on the screen right now, but all you got to do is tap jump and you'll bounce off of him. Right here, and you'll land straight onto here. Again, roll, jump, pretty basic. Now for these fire droplets, you want to make sure that you, as you're coming here, keep going. The one after the banana and coin combo, that's where you're gonna land next. So as these fire droplets are coming down, you're gonna just land on this one, keep going, bounce here, and then you duck as you're sliding. Like with your momentum, you'll just slide underneath the vine as it's passing over you. And then as soon as these vines come by, like that little slide will be enough for you to be able to just roll underneath the next pair. So this is where you'll pick up Dixie in case you took a hit earlier in the stage. And this is where you can also try the fire droplet skip setup. Now this is a pretty finicky setup. It works some of the oh, darn. Well, guess we're getting Diddy. But it works some of the time. Basically what you're trying to do is with these fluffs, if you do a bounce off of one of them, you'll be pretty close to the next area where a bunch of fire droplets are going to be. First, I accidentally pressed grab. Okay. So you're landing right around here, and that's funny. The bunnies actually got killed by the fire, but what you'd normally be trying to do is you'll try and bounce off of one of the bunnies, and then you'll tap the hover button for a split second, which will land you right on this plug. So you want to tap hover right around here, and then as soon as you land on this plug, you're going to do a roll jump over this gap, and you're going to want to keep rolling. Now, if you had kept going at full speed and you did a bounce off the fluff, hovered for a second, landed roll jump, that is the setup that Goldfish and I use to try and get the fire droplet skip. Sometimes works. The way fire droplet skip works is kind of random, but basically this is what you're trying to skip. You're trying to skip having to stop to avoid getting hit by these fire droplets. Normally, if you try and roll through, those fire droplets will just barely hit you, but sometimes if you manage to get like a really specific speed and pacing, you'll actually be able to roll straight underneath them. It's very difficult to get, but it's nice because it does save having to take the hit, and you don't want to risk it if you have one heart, because you need a hovering partner for the last section of this stage. So what you're trying to do right here is you're trying to jump up top, grab onto this section, grab onto the next one, and grab onto the next one. And you're trying to jump in that specific way because of the fact that the fire droplets are coming. So you want to make sure that you're beating them rather than jumping into them. And then for this last one, you just want to hover into it, a roll jump, and you'll be at the hero. Pretty simple. A relatively easy stage, very easy to get down your first couple times. It doesn't really matter who you come into this stage with or who you leave this stage with. Actually, yeah, whether it's Dixie or Diddy doesn't matter. But you don't want to try and do it with Cranky because of that last section. You need a hover, otherwise you're going to be riding the vines the entire time. So very quickly, just what the stage looks like in Time Attack. Not very different at all, even if you don't have a Kong with you. Slightly messy, but no big deal. As I said, you really don't want to take another hit. I'll try and refill Dixie later on in the stage. But for the most part, it's not going to be hard to avoid taking damage. Roll through. You just automatically bounce off of him and you're fine. Slide, roll. And let's see if I get the skip. Okay, did not. So, very difficult to get that fire droplet skip, which is why you want to make sure you have 2 hearts so you can just hover on this last section. Shiny gold, okay. Oh god, really? Anyway, Scorch and Torch is a pretty easy stage. Just make sure that you're finishing it with Dixie or Diddy. Just because it's easier to finish the stage with Dixie or Diddy. It'd be nice if we could finish it with Cranky, because on the next stage, we're going to need to pick up Cranky to get the secret exit. This is actually the first secret exit that we'll be taking in the run. And we're going to be doing some pretty incredible things on that stage. So, looking forward to a very easy Twilight Terror. And then further on, Parameter Scramble. See you next time.